I remember he gave Hindi lectures in Nagpur at the Gita Bhavan, something like that. Gita Bhavan in Nagpur for 1 week. So he was very, very gifted speaker in different languages. And in this way he used to attract the attention of the public. Just like I was talking about this program in Bangalore, the Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Kempegoda Road. The hall can contain about 1,000 people. Then outside the hall, there is also open space, see, for another 500 people, left and right and behind. And then on the front side, there were some trees in front of this building, Chamber of Commerce and Industry building. And during the program at that time, it was so full, everywhere full, that people had climbed in the trees to listen to Achyutananda Swami's lectures. So that much I can say. At that time, people maybe they were more inclined to hear religious discourses, and there was not so much television as now. Of course, cinema was there, but I think there was not much television, and people were quite free. They used to spend their time for religious purposes. So they were very eager to hear from a Swami coming from America. That was a great attraction. We used to print leaflets clearly stating that the ISKCON Society will present a program with American and European disciples. So that was attracting the public. Even in small places like Chirala is not such a big city. It's a big town, but not a big city. But there also we had a program. Not less than 10,000 people came to our program. And then we had Nagar Kirtan, and Achyutananda Swami used to put his upper cloth, uttariya, like this, and people used to have a puja and throw money in his uttariyam. So people actually were very pious, very generous at that time. I think now it would be different. If we have a program in such places, I don't think so many people can come now. Maybe 100, 200 people, maybe, but not 10,000 like at that time. That was very wonderful reception.
The population was much less.
Yes, it was also less. But now people are so busy in different things. They are not. They don't spend time for religious purposes. They come to a temple by car. No, they give 100 rupees to have quick darshan. Immediately go back to Hyderabad. They have no time. No time.
Yashodananda and Guru Kripa, they were also traveling in South India, and they were also quite sensational.
Before Achyutananda Swami came to South India, Yashodananda and Guru Kripa were traveling together. They went to Bangalore, they went to Madras and some other places, and they enrolled a few life members on those big cities of South India, especially just like TVS company, Kasturi, and then, TVS company, what's his name? Ranga. Huh? I forgot his name. Sundarajan. No? Sundaramaya? So the proprietor of TVS company, and also like this Hindu newspaper proprietor, I think Kasturi, Mr. Kasturi at that time. He became a life member. And some other very prominent businessmen became life members. They had they were very strong. I think maybe none of you has seen Yashodananda. Maybe you have seen Guru Kripa because now he's still coming to Mayapur or Vrindavan. But Yashodananda, I think you have not seen.
I saw him recently in Udupi. I met him in Udupi recently. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Very good. Very happy to hear Yashodananda coming to India again. So they were very
quiet now.
Nice, quiet. At that time, they were very, very strong preachers. When I say strong, I say also physically. Good speakers, not like Achyutananda. Achyutananda was number one. But physically and their appearance was very strong. You have seen Guru Kripa, how he's walking with a danda in hand. So they used to come, no need of appointment, to see these big people, big companies, at that time at least. No need of appointment. You just come to the company headquarters and you ask, as a sadhu, no? They ask, I want to see the proprietor. Okay, no problem. Immediately they have access to the proprietor. So they come with their danda and they put their danda at the table. And so they present ISKCON and Srila Prabhupada, how he's preaching Sanatana Dharma throughout the world. And they tell him, you are a very big man, you have a big industry, big business, you have a lot of money. So this is, we have our life membership. So they have the form. Now you just become life member. That's all. You just become life member. So that man, no, of course, generally he agrees. Then he puts his name, he gives money. Sometimes he may say, okay, I'll think over it and maybe next time when you come, I will become life member. No, now you become member. They put their danda, bang their danda on the table. Now you become life member. So, little afraid. Like that, they enrolled many life members. And that was really something. They were like that. No, they're so strong. And also, one thing they did also, they went to many temples and they learned how to pronounce Sanskrit. Achyutananda Swami was so very good in Sanskrit pronunciation, but these two sannyasis, they learned how to recite the Sanskrit shlokas with the South Indian style. They learned from the Sri Vaishnavas. And when they came to Vrindavan in November 72, when Prabhupada was giving lecture, they started to recite Brahma Samhita in South Indian style. Chintamani parasadmasu kalpavaksha laksha vriteshu suravira vipalayantam.
See, at that time no one in ISKCON knew this.
Yeah, like that. No, in a very, like that, showing their best. And Prabhupada was hearing, Prabhupada was very pleased. They said, oh, very good, very good. You have learned this in South India? Very good. So he showed other disciples, you see, they have learned how to recite properly slokas, South Indian style. Prabhupada was very happy. And he encouraged us to recite also like that.
Did you travel with them at all?
Not much. They came to Hyderabad sometimes. Of course, they were there at the inauguration of the temple. And but they were the first to travel and preach in South India. Along with also, I should say, Tamal Krishna Goswami also came. He came to Hyderabad in 1971. There is some story about that. I can mention it. It's quite interesting. At that time, Tamal Krishna Goswami and some others like Yadavacharya, I think Banu also. Banu Das Brahmachari was there also. So they had a program in Secunderabad, I think Keys High School, if I'm not wrong. And Tamal Krishna Goswami gave a lecture. It was very well attended. very learned audience was there also. But Tamal Krishna Goswami started to speak about the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And then he was explaining the meaning of Hare, meaning of Krishna, meaning of Rama. Of course, everybody knows. But they are thinking Hari is Krishna's name. And Rama is Ramachandra. But Tamal Krishna Goswami gave another explanation. Hara is Radharani's name. So we are calling for the Radharani's name, Radha Krishna. So there was some opposition in the audience. Somebody raised his hand and said, "What is this? What you are talking about? Rama means Ramachandra."
What did Tamal Krishna Maharaj say?
Balaram. What is Balaram? It's not Balaram. It is Lord Ramachandra. That is why we are chanting Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Because we are devotees of Ramachandra. We are chanting his name. What is Balaram? Why you are talking about Balaram? And Tamal Krishna Goswami then said, "No, it is not Ramachandra. It is Balaram." "No, it is Ramachandra. No, Balaram." Like that. And the next day in the newspaper, there was some article, not so favorable. It is written by some of the protesters, some were opposing party, and they wrote some article in the newspaper telling these Hare Krishna people, they don't know nothing. They think that Rama means Balaram. What is this? Later on, the news came to Srila Prabhupada, and he chastised Tamal Krishna Goswami. He corrected him. He said, "Why do you have a dispute about this? What is the need to have a dispute about this? Rama means Ramachandra. Why not? It also means Balaram. You cannot say it means only Balaram. It means also Ramachandra. It means Parasuram." And if you see in one of the purpose of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, in the Adi Lila, where the discussion takes place about the potency of the holy name, Srila Prabhupada mentions this episode from Hyderabad. For he does not mention the name of Tamal Krishna Goswami, but Prabhupada writes in the purport that sometime back there was a dispute about the name Rama. So the sloka Chaitamrita, Chaitanya Chaitamrita mentions clearly that Rama means, it may mean Balaram, it may mean Ramachandra. There is no difference between the two. So in this way, the Siddhanta was written by Srila Prabhupada. So Tamal Krishna Goswami came in 71. He was the first one to preach in Hyderabad, have a preaching party there. They met the governor of Andhra Pradesh. And then shortly afterwards, Subal Swami. I don't know if you have heard of Subal Swami. He's also from America, from the West Coast. He joined in 68 or something. So he was also sannyasi. He got a house from one of our life members, Mr. Y. Govindu, in Banjara Hills. So he was staying there for some time in 1971. I was very happy there. Then...
Who was that? Subal Swami arranged for Prabhupada to stay there? Or
Subal Swami was staying there. So, when Jipula Reddy gave us the land in Abitz, at that time there was a choice. Do we take this land in the middle of the city, or are we going to keep the house in Banjara Hills?
Oh, that was donated, that house? Or?
Yeah. But papers were not given. It was given to us for use, but officially property was not transferred. So at that time, Tamal Krishna Goswami, in consultation with Srila Prabhupada, said that house in Banjara Hills, not necessary. this place in center of the city, that is much more important, because Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati wanted that the preaching should be done from the city center. Banjara is so far away, it is on the outskirts of the city. Who will come there? So Subal Swami was very much disappointed because he liked the place. Finally, we took the place in habits. The same Subal Swami was at the beginning in charge of our temple construction in Vrindavan. So Prabhupada had given him the responsibility to look after the construction. And Subal Swami was not happy. He told Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, I can't take it. It's impossible. I cannot even chant my rounds. Every 5 minutes now the workers are coming to me. I have to count how many cement bags are there. I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to go to market, this and that. I can't chant my japa. I can't do my sadhana. And Prabhupada told him, this is your sadhana. Why you are talking about chanting japa? Your sadhana is to construct this temple. But Prabhupada could understand, this person is not fit for the post. So then afterwards, Gurudas Yamuna came, but that was change of management at that time. So when Prabhupada came to the Hyderabad temple, when it was constructed, he saw it from the distance. And he told Mahamsa, why did you build such a big temple? Looking like this. Prabhupada was surprised, such a big temple. But Prabhupada liked the temple. He especially, he said, these deities are the most beautiful in all of ISKCON. Radha Madan Mohan. I remember that when we opened the first temporary temple on the street side, we had spent 1 lakh rupees to build a small temple there. And Palika Devi had gone to Jaipur to purchase the deities. And they are ready-made. We didn't have to ask any order. Generally, the deities are ordered. Then it takes 3, 4 months, 6 months. But there, Palika saw these deities, very large-sized deities, and she liked them very much. Immediately she purchased some 15,000 rupees at that time. So, deities were put and we started the puja. Then Prabhupada came. That was in 74, 74 April Prabhupada came. And so Prabhupada came to the small temple and he was outside and then the curtain opened. So Prabhupada had darshan of deity. Immediately he said, this is Radha Madan Mohan. So immediately he gave a name to the deities. Radha Madan Mohan. So we are very happy. When Prabhupada came to Tirupati, Tirumala, he also gave a name to the deities. You know that?
When he came to where?
Tirumala. So, in 76, August 76, at the time of opening, we had invited the endowments minister and the endowments commissioner to come to ISKCON and meet Srila Prabhupada. They came, they are very much impressed. They liked Prabhupada very much. Very great respect they gave to Srila Prabhupada. So they stayed there for some time in the company of Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada had a very important message for them. Prabhupada said, Balaji's money is for Balaji, not for development, economic development, or building drainage system, and so for industrial purposes. They are listening. They are listening like this. Prabhupada very strongly. Because at that time, part of the income from TTD was diverted for industrial development. At that time, Venkateswara was sometimes used to take money to give loan to industries. So Prabhupada came to know. He gave warning. Balaji's money, only for Balaji. So they invited Srila Prabhupada to come to Tirumala. So it was a grand reception. And they gave the best cottage to Srila Prabhupada and adjoining cottages to the other disciples. Shyam Sundar Prabhu was there also. Some others. And Prabhupada was invited to give a lecture in front of the main temple of Lord Venkateshwar. I forgot the name of the building, but there was assembly hall, some big function hall. Now it has been removed or destroyed by the executive officer, unfortunately. And to make some space. Now it looks like a cricket field. So Prabhupada gave a lecture there. And we also film Hare Krishna movie. Hare Krishna movie. It was very well appreciated by people in pilgrims in Tirumala. We had very best prasadam. Not the laddu. Now you go there, you get a laddu this size. Huh? This size laddu maybe now you are getting. We got laddus this size. Not less than that. And all the best, like this shakar pongal and this dahi bhat. No, so we took so much. I remember we were not eating anything else. We took so much of this shakar pongal and the curd rice and his laddus. We are completely filled up with this. They gave us so much prasadam, Mahaprasadam. Very good reception. Prabhupada told us he was very much impressed by the administration of the temple. And he told his disciples, like Tamal Krishna Goswami, he told that you can take example of TTD. You take example, how they are managing this temple. And you can do the same type of management for ISKCON. So Prabhupada gave that advice. TTD, ideal management. He was impressed.
What about meeting with leaders of the Madhva and Ramanuja Sampradayas?
Yes, we have, especially Madhvas. We met many of them, and we had.
Where? In Chennai.
Bangalore, Chennai. I can tell a few stories. We had great friendship, especially with the Madhvas. These three Vaishnavas, we are coming, we are just like that, no? We offer respect to each other, and they give us a big smile. They are very happy to see us. They give us Charnamrita, some Mahaprasad. But it's not like that with the Madhvas. Madhvas, they are more than that. They like to argue. Sri Vaishnavas, generally, they don't argue so much in philosophy. But the Madhvas, they like it so much. And we also like it. Achyutananda Swami, myself, at that time, Akhoyananda also was there, Basu Ghosh also sometime. So, whenever we used to go to Chennai, for collection, of course, we go there for collection. So we used to see the Dharma Prakash. Dharma Prakash was established by the Das Prakash Hotel. Das Prakash belongs to a very prominent Madhva family. At that time, Mr. K. Balkrishna Rao, very prominent member of the Madhva community. Very big businessman, hotel owner. So, about half kilometer from his hotel, on the Punamali High Road, there is Dharma Prakash that is used for marriages. And they have some guest rooms. So whenever we were in Chennai, we used to stay at the Dharma Prakash. On the ground floor of Dharma Prakash, there is a printing press where a magazine called Dharma Prakash is published every month at that time. And the secretary of Dharma Prakash, his name was at that time Mr. Raghupati Rao. This Raghupati Rao, he was very much argumentative, very much. And we had many arguments with him. But sometimes friendly, sometimes little angry mood. Sometimes it used to come to the border of anger, especially from his side, and I think sometimes Basugosh, and especially I think Swami Akoyananda was also sometimes angry. But anyway, he was quite friendly, but he used to argue so much. And he was a very staunch Madhva follower. And some of the arguments regarding what is called this Trivida Jiva Tattva. That's a very big argument we had. It went on for many weeks, many months, and we don't accept that the jivas are different. Bodies are different, not the jivas. Jivas in themselves, the jivatma, are all the same in the animals, in the plants, in the human beings. All the jivas are same. On the earth planet, in heaven, in the hell, the same jivas are everywhere. There is no distinction. It is only a question of bodily envelope, just like a dress. You have the underwear and you have the outer garment. The underwear is the subtle body, and this is the gross body. But the Madhvas, they have this peculiar doctrine of Trivida Jiva Tattva. This is very peculiar because it is not held by the Ramanujas.
It's not held by any other Vedanta.
Nor any other Vaishnava Sampradaya.
Nor even the Shankara Sampradaya. I mean, it's...
That is, of course.
No, but I mean, among the followers of Vedanta...
No Vedantist.
Yeah, no Vedanta, only themselves. And it totally...
Hare Krishna.
Then there's no use to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, according to their philosophy.
So I don't know how I can talk loudly. My voice is very...
Oh, it's going out, huh? Once I had a bookstall in front of ISKCON Abids. This was about early 1980s. Just people coming on the street. Someone came up to me and said, what's your understanding of this Madhva's doctrine of the three kinds of jivas? So I said, well, what's the praman? And he said, Trividha bhavati shraddha dehinam. What is it?
Yes.
Trividha bhavati
shraddha
dehinam sasvabhavajam. So I said, you see, it says dehinam, that only refers to the body.
Yes.
The jiva is in the body, according to the body, then he has different kinds of shraddha. He was very happy. He said, I asked your guru that, Prabhupada. He gave the same answer. It's a big... Yeah, please go on.
Yes.
But yeah, so, this philosophy, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then there's no such thing as Patita Pavana.
You have Bhagavad Gita here? Now I can mention some...
Bhavati Shraddha Dehinam Sasvabhavaja Satvaki Rajasi Chaiva Tamasi Chaiti Tam Shrinu. First verse of chapter 17.
Yeah. Arguments back and forth regarding this dispute, philosophical dispute, which no Vedantists accept differentiation between jivas. But the Madhvas are very much convinced that there is actually three kinds of jivas: tamasic, rajasic, and sattvic. And they quote from various scriptures. So we can also follow their quotations, because for us it is also important to know the other viewpoints. We have differences with the Sri Sampradaya, with the Madhvas. We have many common points. We have also differences. And it is very important to know their viewpoints on various aspects, even though it may be different, so that we can try to find out what is the ultimate conclusion.
One thing with the Sri Vaishnavas, there's differences, but they're almost always but they don't make a big thing of it. They're very friendly. But with the Madhvas, it's...
The Madhvas are very staunch.
If you don't believe Madhva, then you're going to hell. That's it.
They will not budge an inch.
Yeah.
Whereas in the Ramanuja Sampradaya, they will, just like a cat on the wall, going here and there. They don't mind mixing with everybody. But the Madhvas are very staunch. I mean, I can tell a lot about that. How they are so opposing to the impersonalist Shankaracharya followers. They don't accept Shankaracharya as a great sannyasi, great acharya. They say he is a demon. He is the incarnation of Kalanemi. And when they go to bathroom, they utter mantras against Shankaracharya.
Yeah, passing stool on
Yes. So they are 100%. They are very staunch. They will not tolerate anything that goes a little aside from their philosophy. And that I appreciate. I appreciate. And they are very able, they are very learned, and it is a great opportunity to speak to them and to understand and to try to have our convictions deeper. Now here is a quotation from Bhagavad Gita. So of course, Trivida Bhavati Shraddha. That is one thing. That is the second sloka. But more important than that, Sattva Nurupa Sarvasya Shraddha Bhavati Bharata. Shraddha Mayoyam Purushaha.
Yoyat Shraddha
Sayevasaha. That they will quote 10 times, just like I remember in Hyderabad, in Hyderabad, Prabhupada used to discuss with some journalist. And the journalist was having some Mayavadi conceptions. He was telling to Srila Prabhupada, now you are worshipping the deities, all right, that is very good. This is a sattvic, pious activity, but at the time of self-realization, this worship can be given up. And Srila Prabhupada immediately countered, he opposed this statement, and he was quoting from Bhagavad Gita, that Nityam, no, from the 9th chapter, 12th chapter. No. Okay. And I forgot right now. I forgot some very well-known sloka.
There's the 9th chapter. Avyaktam vyaktim apanam.
No. That is against the Mayavadis, yes. But some other sloka to indicate that devotional service is eternal. It is not something that you do at the time of sadhana, and when your consciousness is elevated, when you become self-realized, then you give up devotional service. No. Yes, Prabhupada used to quote this sloka. I was there, so I remember very clearly, but now I have forgotten.
Well, that's chapter 12. I thought you said chapter 9.
Yeah, chapter 12. Anyway, where it is Lord Krishna says that those who are devotees, they worship me always. Always engaged in my worship, in my service. Huh? Yeah, exactly. Nitya Yukta Upasate. This fellow, this reporter, was telling, no, right now, no, you are doing very good. Yeah, this is very good. Deity worship, chanting Hare Krishna, very good. That is now for the beginners. And Prabhupada used to, Nitya Yukta Upasate. 20 times Prabhupada said, Nitya Yukta Upasate. And finally, reporter was speechless. He could not say anything. That is very clear. Nitya Yukta Upasate. not for a few years, nitya, life after life, eternally, like that. So these Madhvas, they are also staunch like this, very strong. And whatever Madhvas books have been written by Madhvacharya, the commentaries have been done in the same line, same philosophy has been going on for 800 years now. They have not deviated, at least in their philosophy. In the practice, it is very difficult to follow strictly, but their philosophical conclusions are very faithful to Madhvacharya, and this I can appreciate. That's why I had great regard, great respect for the Madhvas, even though sometimes we were arguing so much. But they lack arguments, and they, in their own way also, they liked us. Like the Raghupati Rao, the secretary, he told me, okay, we shall print your viewpoint about the nature of the jiva. So I wrote an article, and the next issue, they printed that this is the nature of the jiva according to the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, showing, they reproduced my article, that there is only one category of jiva. I've given many quotations, many arguments, and they have reproduced that article. In the next article, opposing article came.
Yeah. They published many of our articles in Dharma Prakash. Prabhupada, they published his articles. Akhoyananda.
Yes. I remember that in Bangalore, Achyutananda Swami gave a lecture it was the seat of the Madhvas, all the Madhva Pandits, I think Madhva Association, Brahmin Association, yes, Madhva Brahmin Association. And it was very well attended, there was very good publicity, and only Madhva Brahmins came, nobody else. And there were about 200, at least 200 in the hall, and Achyutananda Swami started his lecture. And they were very attentive, very respectful, and Achyutananda Swami knew how to speak for them also. And he mentioned that in Kali Yuga it is very difficult to establish Vaishnava Dharma because there are so many opposing elements, especially Sankaracharya. So we need very strong acharyas to preach the message of Lord Krishna, Bhagavad Gita as it is. Then Achyutananda Swami said, this is why Hanuman himself came as Madhvacharya. Just like that, no. Hanuman came as Madhvacharya. They were so happy to hear this. All of them immediately they got up, and for 10 minutes, ovation to Achyutananda Swami. They were surprised that, this Swamiji, American Swamiji, he knows that Hanuman has come as Madhva. He knows. So they were happy to see that we also know Madhva's philosophy, and who is Madhvacharya, we also know. So from Vayu, Bhima, Hanuman, and then Bhima, and then Madhva. That is the succession of avatars. And Achyutananda Swami glorified Madhvacharya in that manner, and he received an ovation. You can consider these people, they are the most orthodox among the Madhva community. All the Pandits, the Brahmins, they were very orthodox, especially seeing that who are these Americans and Europeans, how they have joined how they have become Vaishnavas, how they have become Brahmanas, how he became a sannyasi, how is it possible? But when they heard the lecture, they were transformed. It was a complete transformation in their consciousness. So that's how powerful Ashudananda Swami's lecture were. So we are very fortunate to be present on those occasions. And I can remember very clearly all these occasions.
You want to rest now?
No rest, but my voice is...
Okay, we'll break up in 10 or 15 minutes anyway. Now you've spoken about some public response. Were some people against us also? I remember some people, they didn't, like you said, they said, how can you Westerners be Hindus? You can't be Brahmins.
There was opposition in Madras. Some of these Orthodox members of the Madras society, they objected that how these people have become Brahmanas.
Madhvas, they were objecting.
Huh?
Madhvas.
Not necessarily Madhvas.
Smartas,
mostly Smartas. And members of the general public. Yes, there was opposition in Madras. And some articles came in the newspaper. Even, of course, there was opposition from the Gaudiya Math in Madras. Unfortunately also, from our own family, there was also opposition.
They criticized Prabhupada in the newspaper.
Yes, it came in newspapers. The head of the Math, I don't like to mention his name. He wrote an article. He's still alive in Mayapur.
He hasn't changed at all.
Yeah. He's still in Mayapur now. And he read Krishna book. And in Krishna book, there is a statement by Srila Prabhupada that Putana got the same position as in Goloka Vrindavan, as the gopis, same position as the mother of Krishna, same position as the elderly gopis, as the mother of Krishna. So he became very upset to see this statement. For him, Putana did not become a mother. I think she became a nurse. But there's no difference between nurse and mother. So anyway, he objected that this is complete nonsense. He also objected to our kirtan, telling our kirtan is very loud and very bad sound. He didn't like our kirtan like that. So the opposition in Madras, of course, in North India, so in Vrindavan, of course, Vrindavan, there was a lot of opposition. When Bhakti, in your book also I've read, opposition to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. When he used to have Nagar Kirtan in the streets of Vrindavan, all the shopkeepers were closing their shutters.
You read the book, huh?
But otherwise, in South India, otherwise, it was a very good reception everywhere. Lot of curiosity at the beginning. People were curious to see these American and European disciples. And they like to see the kirtan, bhajan going on. And like that, many of them became life members.
That was surprising in the sense that there was a lot of caste. I mean, the caste consciousness was very, very strong at that time in South India.
Yes, of course. But Prabhupada
these people, we'd stay in their houses and they'd feed us and everything, but they wouldn't, from their perspective, we are lower than the lowest caste, and they would never let lower caste people, they never invite them into their home, feed them with the same food, but they accept, it's very great step for them actually to accept our devotees in that way.
Yes. But there's a change of consciousness when they see these Westerners happily chanting and dancing in the streets and on the stage. certainly there's a change in their attitude. And they start to wonder, how is it possible? They are asking questions, how is it possible? These people become Vaishnava. Is it fake or is it true? Maybe fake, maybe just temporarily like that. Just like, they have changed their lifestyle. Again, after 1 month, after 1 year, again they become hippies or something else. So they may have some doubts. But those who followed year after year how our movement has progressed in South India or all over India, then certainly they don't have the same opinion as they had before. So it depends of the type of people. Those who are most orthodox, they had great difficulty to accept us. But those who were in the Sri Vaishnavas, there's somewhat liberal mindedness, and they tend to accept also. I think they give diksha to lower caste. They have this tradition. And of course, along the Madhva, talking about the Madhvas, there are two sampradayas in the Madhvas. One is the Brahmin Kula, Brahmin Sampradaya, and the other one is this Dasakuta Sampradaya. Dasakuta. So for the Madhvas, they consider, yes, the Hare Krishna movement, they are just like the Dasakutas of Purandaradas and Kanakadas, like that. They for everyone. Same movement also in Pandharipur. All people from all castes can join this Sankirtan movement. This is good. This is all right. In this way, the Madhvas also did accept us in that manner.
You were there at Prabhupada's disappearance, or just after you came, was it?
Now, Prabhupada's disappearance, I was in Hyderabad, and we came to know about the disappearance of Srila Prabhupada by telegram. Of course, we knew, Prabhupada's health condition, because there was regular reports sent by Tamal Krishna Goswami. So we were very well aware of Prabhupada's condition. But finally the telegram came, and that's how we got the news. So immediately I took a train to Vrindavan and went to Vrindavan. So I was there for the parikrama. We went to Govardhan, Radhakund, with a Prabhupada's murti, small murti, everywhere along Govardhan.
Anyone else like to ask any questions to Anandamayi Prabhu about the early days of ISKCON as he remembers it? No? Well, it's still the early days of ISKCON.
Pardon?
It's still the early days of ISKCON, not that early, but
yes,
it's still a hopefully burgeoning movement, and things are expanding, but there's a lot more work to do. So these get-togethers, just like we're having here, that's to help nourish the devotees' spiritual life, their knowledge of Krishna consciousness, their orientation in Krishna consciousness. That means their direction. Their feelings for each other and for Krishna. Madchita madgata prana bodhayanta parasparam katayantas jamang nityang tushyanti charamanti cha. Lord Krishna says, my devotees, their lives are dedicated to me. They're always thinking of me. They take great pleasure in discussing about me among themselves. So these camps are for that. And then also we have the dadati pratigrihnati, guhyamakyati prichati, bhungte bhojayate chaiva, shadvita priti lakshanam. So love for Krishna and love among devotees are exchanged in 6 basic ways: offering a gift, receiving a gift if it's offered, revealing one's mind in confidence and questioning devotees, then offering prasad to others, receiving prasad from others, and in this way devotees, priti, their loving feelings develop among themselves. So this is for developing our Krishna consciousness and our appreciation for each other, and we want to expand this so that more and more people can take advantage of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy and join Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan movement. Srila Prabhupada has kindly preached all over the world and revived India's spiritual culture, which was in very bad condition in many ways. Like you were saying, in Calcutta, the students, they had Prabhupada in their midst, and they were so demoniac that they were threatening violence to Prabhupada. Such a bad situation. So there's much work to do in spreading Krishna consciousness. So please do it. Bharata bhumite hoilo manusha janvaja janva shata kari karo para upaka. Those of you who are fortunate to have taken birth in the land of India in human bodies, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has a special order for you. Sometimes devotees come and they ask, do you have any special instruction? Well, of course, every instruction is special. Chant Hare Krishna, that's very special. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's order for all Indians, as Prabhupada would often repeat, is to yourself become fixed in Krishna consciousness and spread it to others. So please do that. Yesterday there was a question that, well, why do we have to associate with devotees? Why do we have to go to the temple? We can just stay at home and do deity worship at home. No! This is a very neophyte stage. You have to go out and spread Krishna consciousness to others. That is required. So, Hare Krishna. The next session is at 4 o'clock, right? And now, we're just quoting Sanskrit slok, Bhungte bhojayate chaiva. It's time for prasadam. So take prasadam. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare, Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Everyone's invited to take books. We have Telugu, Srimad Bhagavatam. Take that, read that. We have all of Prabhupada's books here in English and various, in Telugu and other languages. Srinam Amrita, I'm recommending that. Devotees ask how to improve their chanting. Just read a little from this book every day, and then we're reminded about the importance of chanting the holy names. And automatically we'll be more attentive in our chanting. I also have written some books, they're available here. And there are books on Varnashram by Bhakti Raghav Swami and his disciples, available here. There are also CDs and DVDs of my lectures available. So the camp is just for 3 days, but take home with you spiritual food to remain spiritually nourished.